it's that time again. Time for Name That Stitch. I'm Libby Lehman and I'm your guest host. And I just stitched one of my favorite stitches. It doesn't get a lot of credit, but it is so versatile. It has different names. It's actually two stitches that are kissing cousins. The first stitch, if you look down here closely, the first stitch is actually called the triple stitch. The next stitch is like a triple stitch with muscles built in, because this is 3 stitches, this one is 6, sometimes 7. So what this triple stitch does, I think you could tell by the name, it takes a stitch down, stitch 1, takes a stitch back, stitch 2, takes a stitch down, that's 3, and then it moves to the next one and goes, next one, etc. If you go to, actually my machine calls it a hemming stitch, but I call it a double triple because it does your triple stitch and then repeats it. So you actually have 6 or sometimes 7 layers of thread. When should you use one? When should you use the other? It just depends on what your purpose is and how much you want that line to show. Now let's go over here to the board and I'll show you some samples of this. I want to show you first what this stitch was actually designed for, and it was designed for heirloom sewers and was meant to be done with a wing needle. Now if you're not familiar with a wing needle, it's this strange looking needle here. It's named a wing needle because it does have a wing on the sides that is actually very sharp, so this is like a knife. It's actually going to cut your fabric. So when I stitch with this, and this is the triple stitch and then this is the double triple stitch or the hemming stitch, it makes my 3 stitches, but then there's an actual hole here. And if I was doing this in batiste or a very fine fabric, you would have these little holes. And that's what heirloom sewers use a lot in their work. I can see where for quilters this might be nice. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but there is a little hole in between those stitches. I think this would be great to add beads. Your hole is already there. You would just come up with your needle, put your bead on, put it down, and go to the next spot. I don't do a lot of beading in my quilt, so I want to show you what I do with this. If you remember in one of our previous Name That stitches, we used this gathering stitch, one that was close together here. Then I did a little further apart, and I like this, but I thought, oh, what if I came back and did the double triple stitch down the middle, and look at the accent that that adds. I can see lots of possibilities for using this stitch in this way. And I do use it as a filler stitch. For example, in this quilt, which I call Piñata, here I did a decorative stitch around this motif, but then I came back with a satin stitch and covered up along the edge. And that worked pretty well, but it takes quite a while to do that. So when I came to this middle one, if you can see here, I did a decorative stitch, and this is using my circular embroidery attachment, but then I covered up the straight stitching with a deeper lime green and doing the the double triple stitch around the edge there. I also used it in my corner pieces. I'll show you, I have one here before I paste it in the quilt. On the circular attachment, which simply spins the fabric around a central point, I did the double triple stitch, moved it out, and did a concentric half circle with the double triple stitch. And I like this look. It goes much faster than the satin stitch did, and also it looks like bobbin drawing, which is when you have thick thread and put it in the bobbin. So I hope I don't have you seeing double or even triple, but I think you're going to love this stitch. And I'll see you next time on Name That Stitch.